Aloha, my name is Brian Alston, and this is another episode of Father's Circle. We are an offshoot of the Kaua'i Fatherhood Council, and we have each year the Kaua'i Men's Conference, and this year it will be November 21st. Today we are delighted to have with us three gentlemen from the community. We have with us James Alana, Mayor Bernard Carvalho, and retired Superintendent Bill Arakaki. I want to start with a topic, and we will jump right in. And the topic is confide or trust. And for many of us, for men, that can be challenging. So the question is this: how did you learn to confide? Can you tell us the people, a person that might have been involved, or a circumstance? But for you, where did that start, the ability to confide? Can we start with yourself?
Yeah.
And before we jump in, introduce yourself to us.
Sir.
Yes, thank you, sir.
My name is James Alana. I live now in Kilauea town. I did reside in Kaua'i for the last 23 years, so that was a hard move to Kilauea. But so I'm a father of three daughters, one son, ranging from 25 years old to 7. I have 6 grandchildren now. It was just, bringing them out. And so very young right now with 6 grandbabies and 4 children. So how I learned how to confide, I believe, actually started when I was very young, in sports, actually. It was very hard. My father never wanted me to play sports at a young age. He waited for me to start sports at, middle school, probably 8th grade, but I had to beg him. And so I think when I got into the sport, Kaua'i Knights on Oahu, all the coaches was like, "Who's this kid? What's going on?" And I was pretty athletic, and where is he from? And so, and I really was shy, timid, like contact sports. But the coaches all, they trusted in me with my physical skills, and in turn, I gained trust in them. And what they did was they bought me new gear. Like, I was the new kid with new football gear. And I was like, whoa, wow, they really like me. And so I really, gave them my all and learned all I could from them. So it was just started from coaching, coaching me, I should say. Just from coaching stuff. So that's where I learned how to trust others that I didn't really know. It was just through sports. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mayor Bernard, we all know you, but introduce yourself.
Aloha. Bernard Carvalho. Had the opportunity to serve Kaua'i with numerous different hats, if you will, from a civil servant to department head and, of course, the mayor, which was a great opportunity. But today is all about being a dad, being a father, and I wanted to kind of share that story. Mm-hmm. And what helped me to build trust in who I am today was my upbringing. Actually, my mom and dad, they divorced when I was 9, 10 years old. I'm the oldest of 4. And so I had to step to the plate. That was my story. And having to take the responsibility. And I don't, no blaming nobody. I think if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be who I am today. The parting, that was a thing that had to happen, I believe, at that time. But for myself, stepping to the plate, caring for my brothers and sisters, having to be present, having to enjoy playing sports, but at the same time, being the one at home and having to take care of them. So that kind of built me on who the person I am today and how I am the father today. I have 3 children, adult children, of course, and then 4 grandchildren. My wife and I, Regina, been married for 35 years, and so that solid base, I believe, was because of what my upbringing brought me through. And again, that upbringing of having to take responsibility at a young age, having to take care of my brothers and sisters, and at the same time have a dad who was a hard worker. He wasn't present as often, but I knew he was out there working hard. Mm-hmm. And that was a big thing for me as a young boy growing up. So that kind of setting, and then up till to now, really helped me to be the person and the man who I am today, and the father and papa who I am today, that kind of upbringing.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. How about yourself, Bill?
Yeah, aloha and mahalo. Bill Arakaki, retired complex care superintendent for Kaua'i. You know, I'm very fortunate to be in a profession where we meet many people because of our responsibility in education. I've been really fortunate to be with teachers, coaches, people within the system that influenced my life. I've been in education for 40 years, actually been on Kaua'i for 32 years, been a complex care superintendent for 13 years. And Kaua'i is such a special place because we get to meet many people that influence and build confidence in with us. You know, my background, my dad is from Okinawa, my mom is from Japan. So, you know, the traditional Japanese culture, when Mayor talked about the responsibility as a oldest son, you know, and, you know, my mom coming from Japan, you know, my father was an Army veteran, and right after the Japan War, met my mom in Japan and brought her over in the 50s. So, you know, that was really watching my dad being a farmer, military, you know, the strictness of what we needed to do. But I was very fortunate to have a teacher and coach. His name was Kaipo Godfrey Kealaleo, which was the Boy Scout executive for Kaua'i. He was actually from Oahu, Halava Housing, and, you know, coaching me and, you know, what life is all about. So influenced by, it's not all about making money and doing these kind of things. It's about, you know, how do your life, your love, and sharing for those. So to be able to really confide in an adult person was really difficult because of the background and traditions that, you know, as far as the Japanese culture at that time. So being, you know, how we got to know each other was we went diving together. It's not only about football, you know,
Right.
working out, all those kind of things. Took me fishing, took me all over the place. And that was in school. Then he influenced me to go to college. Then after college, what are you going to do with your life? You know, those kind of things. And even after doing college, he was there to visit, watch the football games when he played college ball. And then after that, you know, so what you're going to do with your life now since you graduated, you know? So that one person, and there's many others, but particularly Uncle Kaipo, really influenced and continued to be part of my life until he passed away, you know, here on the island. And with his children, you know, they're kind of like Hanai. They're my support to them. You know, I have 5 children. I have 6 grandchildren. And to be able to see who would they connect to, you know, may not be grandpa, maybe somebody else. Mm-hmm. So there's always that person out there that will be there for you. And how do you connect to that person so that you can build that relationship is key, especially now with COVID-19, you know, all the stress that everyone's going through, and how do we really approach this with the resilience that needs to be done, because there are the resilient factors. We had the Kaua'i study, you know, 1955, the many children at that time. So what are the factors that made them succeed or not succeed? So that's key as far as the discussion was happening here with the many support that we're getting from the group with the Fatherhood Council and so on. So,
excellent point. Bill brings up the study that was done many years ago, and the study focused in on if a child has at least one person in their life can make a real resounding difference. James, if we were unpacking your story a little bit, can you think of someone back in those athletic days that really helped you?
Yeah, you know, again, you know, everything around me was sports-oriented. So Kaneohe was a sports-oriented town. And again, you know, it went from, you know, small-time Pop Warner all the way up to high school. And so high school is where I really, you know, felt like Coach Arakaki was saying, you know, others around you, supporting you. And so I had just numerous coaches. Joe Tom from Pepperdine, he graduated from Kamehameha. I had him as a baseball coach. I had Coach Maeda, which I believe you went to school with as well, the run and shoot back then, UH Rainbows in '85. And again, Coach Mark Kane, also awesome soccer coach. I think he's at St. Louis right now, and I just visited him just this past January before everything happened with COVID. And so all those coaches really just reached out to me because I came from a single parent family as well, like Mayor did. And my parents divorced when I was 4 years old. So I had 2 younger siblings. I did have 2 older siblings that was already with my grandparent and my mother when they separated. They were different fathers, so we had 4 different fathers in my family with 5 children. So, I always kind of believed that I kind of got more, trust, from just the coaches saying, hey, you can do this, you can do good in school, you can go to UH, you can play baseball for Furatani. I used to pitch back then, so Furatani was always the coach up there at UH Rainbows. And they just really built up my self-esteem, and like, sometimes I think I grew up with blinders, because being divorced parents since I was 4, and I had 2 younger siblings. I had to take care of them as well. My dad was on disability because of a construction accident. He got some 5 discs taken out of his back, so he could not move. He couldn't go to ice cold store shopping. I did all the shopping. Well, he would pick the stuff and leave the store, and I'll end up paying it with, back then there used to be food stamps. So we were struggling that way as well. But I just always felt like I had to go to school every day because I wanted to see my friends and my coaches. My dad would always say, oh, you can stay home. I like go to school and go have fun and hang out with my friends. So all my trust was all just from all my coaches, building up from that. And just being the older sibling of the 2 with the responsibilities and just always doing things the right way. I always remember my dad just say, just make sure you pay your bills, make sure you're on time. And so that just kind of stuck with me, He used to smoke cigarettes, and I was like, I don't want to smoke cigarettes. So that's why, it happened for a reason. He's smoking cigarettes, and that made me not want to smoke cigarettes. So that stayed with me. I can't speak for my siblings because they kind of totally probably went opposite of what I did, but it's okay. So yeah, all my coaches, I really look up to them to this day. They really helped me out.
If I might ask this, James, how did it feel to have your coaches behind you?
It felt powerful. It felt like I had 3 more fathers, baseball coach and the 2 coaches up in high school at the football level. I just felt, they was always like my backbone, at the very end. My dad was kind of an aggro guy. I was the shame kid, My dad be yelling in the back of the umpire while I throw a pitch, and he's like, ball. That was a strike, stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, he was tough on me, but he showed me the right way. And, he has a lot to do with it, too, my dad. Actually, he does. So, those things happen for a reason, like Mary was saying. And I just grew and evolved into that person. That's trying to be a strong man as I can, no matter if I had children or not. So, yeah, I just was that one base in me that I could just have a solid foundation and just follow what everyone taught me, and just kept it in my back of my brain, and just used it for the future. And it shows as, I've been coaching youth football, high school football, and I feel all the kids love me, the way I coached, my style, and I just want to give that back to them because that's what I got, and I really love helping out the youth program here. Yeah. I'm just part of that coaching staff and helping others around me. So,
Excellent.
yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, you mentioned stepping to the plate. Who was there for you? Who helped you?
So if I may, from home, I explained that, and a big part of our home was my grandmother. She was the grandma, mom, and everything else with Dad. So that was a big part of us. But moving into the school part and all the mentors around me, I can talk about my principal, Martha Marita at that time, and my coaches too. There was a menu of people that surrounded me, not only in sports. I was also student body president. I was part of FFA, Future Farmers of America. I was part of the high school choir. And all these people surrounded me, giving me a chance to be part of an option, opportunities that I think built me to where I am today, you know, and leadership as well. So that kind of helped me within the school. School was a safe haven for me. That's where I would go. This is where I could talk and meet different people and the mentors in my life. Like I said, not only in sports, but in various other areas of counselors and all of that. So that was a big part for me. And then taking it to the next level, that helped me to go on to college. And so that was another big part of my life, obviously, with a full athletic scholarship. But this happened for me. That gave me that chance, I believe, and working hard and not, and just believing in the spiritual connection that is important for all of us. That my grandmother was the one who had the spiritual connection for us, and I believe that is another big part of who helped move me to where I am today. And college was another big opportunity, full athletic scholarship. Coach Dick told me all of that mentoring helped me to build who I am today, and I was very thankful for all the people that was involved in my life up until now, yeah. And so just from the high school level to the college level, and then being a dad and a husband and all of that coming to the table. So I think that many of things that happened for me was a big opportunity to be thankful for all the people that surrounded me and gave me a chance. A lot of our young guys, they don't get that chance. Sometimes you got to step to the plate and say, no, I'm going to do this. I need your help. And you got to ask sometime. And people are there to, but it's all about trust. And you're going to know, it's come from your heart, that you're going to know who the people that surround you that really want to help you. And so that really helped me to move forward.
What were the values?
Like, a lot of it had to do with being trust, knowing who I am, believe in yourself, never give up. Make sure that you have goals, set goals for yourself, and try to achieve those goals, and just know that people are there to help you every step of the way, just to kind of build towards that. That was a big part for me. And I'm trying to instill that into my kids now, and my children, of course. And then in the leadership role, again, how to keep that connection with all the resources that surround you and being thankful. To me, that was a big part of moving in that direction of being the man who I am today. And there's much more to come. But for now, all of that, from being at home to school to college, and then now, really helped me to be who I am.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've talked about people. Want to pivot a little bit to circumstance, Bill. Can you think of a circumstance that may have helped you to learn to confide?
Yeah, very, very interesting. You know, in my young life, like many of here, it's good to see that they're giving back. You know, circumstances that made a difference. You know, now as I am retired, I think all that I learned from the many influences that I had allowed me to make better decisions as a complex care superintendent, as a teacher, as a coach, vice principal, whatever it may be. So, you know, in a situation, especially now, I'm sure the new cast, Paul Zena, with COVID-19 and all the challenges he's facing, you know, all the people and influences that he's been involved with provides that opportunity. And for me, everyone always said, you know, in life is not easy. And there's always going to be times where you're not going to be successful, you're going to make a mistake, but never give up. So always, you know, learn from your mistakes, yeah? And that person, that there's going to be somebody to support you. So whoever is out there, you know, life at this time may not be, you know, what you're looking at, but there's going to be not to give up and keep trying, and somebody's out there to support you. I remember Toshi Nakasone is my principal many years ago, and my father, I used to be the first person in school every day, and he'd come up and say, you know, Mr. Ark, I didn't know how he knew my name. You're going to end up to be somebody. And sure enough, when I became a principal and part of the Nissan Hall of Honor selection committee, Mr. Nakasone was on the selection committee. He goes, hey, how you doing? I knew you was going to be in education. I said, oh my goodness, how do you know that kind of stuff, you know? So, you know, through the lessons learned and even as an adult life, that support was really beneficial as far as, you know, now how do you give back to society and how you give back in life. And, you know, I think for all of anyone out there you know, there are things that may happen and you think that you can't come through it. Even as a person that maybe all of us, where we're in life, you know, we face those kind of situations and you come out okay. Yeah, it's just going through that whole period of time is, you know, how do you deal with that? Yeah. So.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Bill.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, can you think of a time, a circumstance that may have challenged that for yourself, James?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, you know, I was married for 14 years. So in 2008 was the end of our marriage. And I was trying really hard, you know, to fight for it, for my children. I had 3 daughters at the time, very young, 2 years old, 10 and 12. And I was trying very hard and don't give up, you know, for the marriage. Then all of a sudden it wouldn't work out. And so here I am all alone on the island. I have no brothers or sisters here. My parents both passed away already. And so there's really no one to turn to. I'm not from Kaua'i, but my ohana is. So I don't have all that close friends. And if I did have close friends, I was very shy or embarrassed to say, hey, you know, I'm divorced now, and you know, oh no, you know, well, what happened, you know, and well, you know, this and that, you know, blah blah blah, and I was just like, okay, I have to stay strong, because there's a time like you're by yourself and you just think to yourself like, oh no, you know, like, what am I doing here? What is this all about? Why am I even here if I won't have my family next to me? And I never wanted a broken family, because it happened to me at a young age, at like 4 years old. And so I really tried hard to hold the family together. So anyway, we got divorced. Maybe we tried to work it out a little in 2009, and it didn't pull through. So I had to, actually, I have a tree trimming business on the island, and I had to kind of just taper it down and, you know, downsize, and just, my morale was low, so I really wasn't hustling as much as I used to. And so it was just that circumstance where, hey, you got to stay strong, wake up, you got to do it for your children. And so that's what kept me going, was my girls at the time. Yeah. Just pull through and do everything for them. And slowly but surely, you know, I ended up with a new relationship, 2011. Had our one child, Kaua'i, Akala. And he has Down syndrome, so you know that's a big challenge right now. We see the mayor every time at Special Olympics, get the picture, and we just love that part, and it's very humbling. You know, I had 3 normal children, but what is normal now? And then I have my son, and my one and only son, and we didn't take the test, so it was like, okay, I would just have a baby. You know, we're 40 years old. And then it was kind of sad, you know, the day we found out 2 weeks later. But then again, that's another challenge for us. So, you know, it's a test, you know, from up above. And, you know, and I said, I don't like to fail tests. You know, I pull through, and I do my best as far as trying to raise all my children plus my new son, and just keep it together and show my children that, you know, my dad is number one. That he's there for us, and he'll be there for us when times are hard. And I'm there with them now, and they love me, and we have 6 grandchildren, you know, now from all my 2 daughters. One has 4, the other has 2. And so that circumstance really, I grew, actually. It was like another chapter in my life. It was like, wow, you know, I went through a divorce, now I have my son, and then that's a different challenge, you know, in the schools, how to get special education for him the right way. And so, yeah, you know, that's kind of one of those big things in my life, that just stay strong, stay power.
As you went through, what were some of your thoughts?
But number one was just suicide. I have to say, I'd be honest, I thought about it, you know. Like, there's nothing here for me, you know. And my kids were gone, and, you know, at the time you try to work them out, but you know, it's not working out, and so you just feel like it's the end, and why am I here, you know? And so, and I met my new girlfriend, and she lifted me, and she said, "You have all these skills, you know. You're wonderful, you know. Everybody loves you. You, like, don't worry, you know. You'll get through it, and you'll rise up, you know." And so she really stuck by my side. She's from Czech Republic, and beautiful. She was also a professional athlete in hurdles up in Europe. And so I was like, wow, this woman is awesome, you know. And got her into paddling with me to learn the canoe and stuff. And she supported me all the way. She's very health-minded, and she makes sure I eat right, you know, and got me ready for Molokai Ihoi, which she supported me all the way, waited for me at the beach at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. And she was very excited, and that was the new chapter in my life when I met this girl, Lucy. Yeah, so.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
How about for yourself, Mr. Mayor? Presence of mind, thoughts. What were some of those thoughts going through your mind as you came through?
Well, a lot of things, you know, for me personally, most recently, and I want to share this because my dad was a rock from our family, like I said earlier. And he just passed away May 22nd. And it was hard for me because, like I said, he was the one there. He taught us just the simple ways of life. You make $5 today, you spend $6 tomorrow, you'll never make it. Simple. The other side of the coin, you make $10 today and you save $5 today, you'll make it. That kind of simple outdoor thinking, working hard. He was a lineman for Kaua'i Electric, then he owned his own business. He did it all in his own way for underground electrical. And then he retired. He passed away on his birthday. He made 80 years old this past May, and we laid him to rest in June. So that was very difficult for me, but I was so happy I had the opportunity to share this time off with him. Being the mayor of this beautiful island of Kaua'i, and that kind of service role and leadership role took me to so many places and had me share my love and skills and aloha for the people. But that started from home with the family and my dad. And my mom, well, you know, we all have a good relationship now. But that was the pohaku. So for me, I know a lot of people out there, you know, have your dad and your mom, love them, hug them. Because when that day comes, and like you mentioned, you know, but mine is just recent, so that's kind of hard for me. But it's important. Now I'm the oldest son. I'm a husband, I'm a dad, I'm a father, I'm a papa. I love it. And I will do whatever I can to instill all that upbringing from my dad, our family, on how to reach out, seek resources, build yourself up, be respectful, share the love and aloha, because believe me, by staying positive in that way, that kind of upbringing, it all comes back. And then it goes right back out again. And that's for me. So for my family, my wife, my kids, my grandkids, all of it. And it started from this one simple upbringing, this life that for me, and to where I am today. So just want to share that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Bill, you've heard a lot. You've heard a lot. If you were able to share a few of what you've heard with your grandchildren, to a young lady perhaps, a young girl, what would you say? How would you summarize some of this?
Well, definitely from the mayor and, you know, being a father, you know, grandpa. I have my granddaughter here. And, you know, being in education, all the children on this island is kind of like my ohana. And to see their fathers, former students, raising their children and doing the right thing. So, and it's always about giving the love and aloha. You know, Kaua'i love and aloha is very important. Always believe in them, always support them. There are times in which we need to be firm and to let them, you know, the stories you say about, you know, what needs to be done, because that'll come back again. What we learn may be good or bad, But we need to really understand that, never give up. Always know that somebody is out there to support and love you. And that grandpa, daddy, we're always here to support you no matter what we're doing, where we are in life. They are still loving you and caring for you. So, my grandkids, I'll be there to support them. And there'll be others within their teaching as they go to school, as they go to church, in their neighbors. There are people out in our community everywhere that are there to support all of us. We are very fortunate, again, to be in a world in Hawaii, in Kaua'i, where this love and aloha, the ohana, really means something. Yep. It is a value that's there. So it'll continue. We'll make it through all of this.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, James.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor Bernard.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
This has been another episode of Father's Circle, part of the Kaua'i Fatherhood Council. Thank you for joining us.
Aloha, this is Ed Kaua'i, and I'm sitting with Brian Alston of the Kaua'i Fatherhood Council, and he's going to tell us about the 2020 Kaua'i Men's Conference. Hi, Brian.
Hi. Thank you, Pastor Ed. I'm so excited to talk about the conference. This is our 5th annual Kaua'i Men's Conference. And I just want to mention there are some strategic men that have played a role in the development of this. And one is our mayor, former mayor, Bernard Carvalho.
As the Olelo No'ea or Hawaiian proverbs say, "Auhe hana nui ki alu'ia," no task is too big when done together by all. And as a father and a husband and a mayor, every day I face challenges and difficult decision-making, stressful situations. But you know what? Staying connected spiritually is what helps me get through every single day. And it's important.
So even when we looked at restarting this almost 5 years ago, he was encouraging that we want to have a gathering where men can be of support to one another. And that's the primary role of the conference. This year, our topic is health and wellness. And we picked this topic pre-COVID. So we weren't even thinking about the times that we are currently in. And we're looking at health and wellness across the lifespan. We'll be inviting men of about 5 different generations. So anywhere from age 14 all the way up into ages. And we're looking at physical health, mental and emotional health, and also spiritual health.
Once again, that's the Kaua'i Fatherhood Council. They're presenting the Kaua'i Men's Conference. And tell us, what are the dates and where is it?
We're looking at Saturday, November 21, once again at the great spot at Smith's Tropical Paradise in Wailua.
Brian, tell us what the whole conference, the Kaua'i Men's Conference, is about. What happens during the course of the day?
It's a great question, and usually I get someone's wife that may ask me the same question. They want to know what their husband's doing, what is this about? And really, we gather in the morning time, and we have a chance really to mingle and to talk a little bit before we kick the conference off. Typically, we have our mayor comes out and gives us the great welcome that we all deserve. And then we have a chance to have a keynote speaker, someone that will focus on the topic for us, a way in which it opens that topic of health and wellness so that we can explore it throughout the day. And then we break up. We have smaller group sessions, somewhere between 8 to 14 guys sitting in circle, and we begin to talk about these topics like physical health, mental and emotional, spiritual health, and we break it down in a very personal kind of way. And it's in those circles where men get a chance to hear from one another and to share of their heart. We have a great hot lunch together, and we have a great time in the afternoon to wrap it up with a third session. And at the end, we usually have a couple of guys who are looking at the whole day. They begin to summarize it for us, so we walk away with a clarity of what we did and what we can use when we come back out into the community.
Thanks, Brian. Once again, that's the Kaua'i Fatherhood Council's presentation of the Kaua'i Men's Conference coming up in November. We hope to see all of you guys there.
Any man that chooses to come here can really feel a sense of belonging.
So I got the opportunity to look at things from a wider vantage point and understand where other people are coming from.
Today to talk and share about the challenges of being a man, how we can support each other, the tools necessary for us to be successful men, not only for ourselves but for our families and the community.
It's nice to see different variety of men sharing their feelings and what it is to be expected from us as men and leaders, and not only in our family but also in society, the community.
And today was a day about just showing up, speaking your truth, really easy day, and you see that every man has a heart, has a smile, has the same desires as you.
For me, I really encourage more young people like me to come visit. It was really inspirational and a blessing to come here.
You know, just building relationships and having the camaraderie as men, and then finding out or dialoguing about things that for most of us as men we don't think about, I think is important for men to come.